News Talk on Samar News, your go-to podcast for the latest headlines and in-depth discussions. Join us as we unravel the stories that matter most, bringing you insightful commentary and expert analysis. Tune in for thought-provoking conversations that spark dialogue and inspire action. Stay connected with the news that shapes our world, only on News Talk on Samar News.
Today, we're jumping into just a remarkable story. A young athlete making serious waves and actually making history on the global tennis stage.
Absolutely.
We are talking about Eala, that's pronounced Eala, and her, frankly, unprecedented Wimbledon debut.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission is to really pull out the key stuff from the sources covering her incredible rise, these recent big wins, and honestly, the huge national pride she seems to have sparked back home.
Yeah, you can really feel that.
And talk about starting strong. The scene is set Monday, June 30, 2025. She's facing the reigning Wimbledon champion, Barbora Krejcikova.
Wow. Right into the fire.
Exactly. It's quite the opener. So where do we even start unpacking this?
Well, I think the history part is really key right away. Eala, she's not just, another player making her debut. She is the first Filipina ever to play the main draw at Wimbledon.
First ever. That's huge.
It really is. Yeah. Now, we should mention Felicimo Ampon and Raimundo Dero. They were pioneers, Filipino men who competed way back. But Alex and the women's singles, that's a totally new milestone.
Okay.
And her getting in directly, that itself is a big deal. She made it because her ranking was inside the top 104 in the WTA, the Women's Tennis Association. Specifically, she jumped up to world number 74.
74th?
Yeah.
From where?
Well, that's the thing. She was previously ranked 140th. So that's a massive leap quite recently.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
A jump from 140 to 74. What caused that? Was there one specific event or run that really boosted her ranking like that?
Oh, absolutely. If you look back, the big catalyst, the real turning point, seems to have been her historic run at the Miami Open.
Miami, right.
Yeah. And what's so fascinating there, it's not just that she reached the semifinals, which, by the way, was the deepest any Filipino player, man or woman, had ever gone in that tournament's history.
Okay, impressive enough.
But it's who she beat along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to this. 3 Grand Slam champions, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys,
Right.
and the world number 1, Iga Swiatek.
She beat Swiatek. Seriously.
Beat Swiatek, yeah. It wasn't just like lucky shots. It showed real strategic thinking, mental grit,
Mm-hmm.
Suggests she really rises to the occasion against the top players. She did eventually lose to Jessica Pegula in the semis, but I mean, what a statement.
That's just an incredible string of victories. Wow. And then just before Wimbledon, she kept that momentum going, right? At the Eastbourne Open, that seems important too. What happened there?
Eastbourne was, another huge step, another first. She became the first Filipino player ever to reach a WTA tournament final.
Oh, the final.
So, yeah, and her semifinal win there was quite something. Really emotional, apparently. A super tough, 2-hour and 22-minute battle against Barbora Krejcikova from France. Won it 7-5, 2-6, 6-3.
Long match. 3 sets.
Exactly. And Eala herself, she talked about it afterwards. She said something like, there were tough moments. She was playing well, and I didn't know how to get out of it. She mentioned it was a real physical and mental challenge for both of them. And, she pointed out they both came through the qualifiers, so they'd already played a lot of matches. She called Gracheva really solid. Said she had moments where she was really dominating.
Right.
So Eala said, the fact that I was able to stay there and wait for my opportunities was a big achievement for me.
Kind of shows that patience, that resilience she has. She does have 5 titles already on the lower level ITF circuit, so she knows how to win, but this was different.
That quote really paints a picture, doesn't it? The mental side of it all. So, okay, she wins that epic semi. What about the final itself?
Right, the final. So Eala, she's just 20 years old. She faced Maya Joint from Australia, who's even younger, just 19.
Okay.
And Eala actually lost that one. Really close match, though. 4-6, 6-1, and then 7-6 in the third. The tiebreak was 12-10.
Oh, wow. 12-10 in the third set tiebreak. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and get this. Eala actually held 4 championship points. 4 times she was 1 point away from winning her first WTA title.
Oof, that must have been incredibly tough to take. It sounded like it was. Her comments after, they were pretty emotional. She's from Quezon City, and she said, to everyone who came to watch, you guys made it really special, my first WTA finals. She directly said, it's a big deal for me and for my country, because it's the first time. That's why I'm so emotional.
You really get that sense, don't you? It's more than just her own result.
Exactly. It feels like she's carrying that national expectation, but also drawing strength from it. It's clearly a huge motivator.
So when we talk about that broader impact, that national pride, how is that actually, manifesting? How does her story connect back home on that larger scale?
Well, if you want a clear example, look no further than the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. He actually publicly posted about her run.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on social media. He said something like, "You've made us all proud. Keep going. Your best is yet to come." So even with the loss in the final, the message was very much about this being like a starting point, not an ending.
That's quite a statement from the head of state.
It is. And he also put out a message in Filipino, Tuloy ang laban, Alex, which means, continue fighting, Alex. And he added, "We all watched you make history as the first Filipino to reach a WTA 250 singles final. That alone is already a victory for our country and for the millions of Filipinos who stand proudly behind you."
Wow. That alone is already a victory. That's powerful. It really shows how much it means.
Definitely. It taps into something deep, I think, that sense of national achievement through sport.
Okay, so she carries all that history, all that support into Wimbledon. And as we said, first up is Barbora Krejcikova, former Olympic champ, former world number 2, currently number 17. I mean, that's a massive challenge.
Huge challenge. Krejcikova is the defending champion. Let's not forget. She knows how to win on center court.
Right.
But there's a potential twist. A pretty important detail here is Krejcikova's fitness.
Oh.
Yeah, she's apparently been struggling with a thigh injury. It actually forced her to pull out of the Eastbourne tournament just before the quarterfinals.
The same tournament Eala reached the final in.
The very same one. So that injury, well, it puts her title defense, maybe in some doubt.
Yeah.
It adds a layer of uncertainty to what was already a really intriguing matchup.
Okay, that adds another dimension entirely. So what an incredible whirlwind for Alex Eala. I mean, the resilience, the composure, these massive firsts for her country, all happening so fast. It's kind of amazing to witness.
It really is. And that huge wave of national support, like we saw with the president's message, that whole idea of her best is yet to come.
Yeah.
It just highlights how much power an individual athlete's story can have, right? For a whole nation.
Absolutely.
Which, kind of brings up an interesting question, maybe something for you, a listener, to think about. How does someone's personal journey in sports, especially one with these kinds of emotional peaks and valleys, these historic firsts, how does that become such a powerful source of collective hope and national pride? Particularly when you see it play out on a global stage like Wimbledon. What is it about one person's, struggle and their triumphs that has this unique ability to sort of lift up and unite an entire country? It's quite something to consider.
News Talk on Samar News, your go-to podcast for the latest headlines and in-depth discussions. Join us as we unravel the stories that matter most, bringing you insightful commentary and expert analysis. Tune in for thought-provoking conversations that spark dialogue and inspire action. Stay connected with the news that shapes our world, only on News Talk on Samar News.